Hi, Cancer. Before we even begin, I have to tell you, this Thursday, July 23rd reading is coming through with powerful 1234 energy. Spirit is showing me movement, progress, and a connection that has been growing behind the scenes. Even if you have not been able to fully see it yet, there is distance here, physical distance, emotional distance, or even energetic distance. But something is shifting in a powerful way. 1234. Energy feels like steps being taken in the right direction, and someone's heart may be quietly moving closer to yours. Listen, this feels like someone from long distance who has been thinking about you far more than they have admitted. Whether they live in another city, another country, or life has simply kept the two of you apart, I'm picking up on an awakening happening inside them. And what stands out to me is that this person may not be coming toward you halfway. Um, they may be coming with intention, emotion, and a real desire to build something meaningful. There could be unexpected communication, travel plans, or a surprise invitation that catches you completely off guard. So trust your intuition because 1234 energy may be guiding this connection forward step by step. Love may be getting closer than you think, and someone from far away may be getting ready to sweep you completely off your feet. And let's get into your reading. So, what I'm really getting right now is that when you cross paths with someone like this, especially a divine counterpart, it's almost impossible not to reflect things back to each other. That's just how this kind of connection works. All those emotions they've been avoiding for years suddenly have nowhere left to hide. I really feel like this person spent a long time doing everything they could to avoid their own healing. If there was something painful they needed to face, they'd rather distract themselves than actually sit with it. They were so easily triggered back then. If even the smallest conversations could put them on the defensive. If you tried to bring up something important or gently work through an issue, they'd shut down almost immediately. It felt like they weren't really hearing you at all. Instead of taking in what you were trying to say, they'd put up another wall and avoid the conversation altogether. But what's interesting is that the energy feels completely different now. I keep hearing, I'm finally ready to listen. Something you said in the past stayed with them far more than they ever admitted. It's almost like those words kept replaying in the back of their mind until they couldn't ignore them anymore. Now they're looking back at the way they responded to you and really questioning why they handled things the way they did because honestly, you were always trying to encourage them. You wanted to see them become the best version of themselves, and you weren't afraid to point out the things that needed attention. And that's never easy for anyone to hear. Facing your own shadow takes courage, especially when you've spent years pretending those wounds don't exist. I honestly don't think they were ready for the level of emotional depth this connection brought into their life. It pushed them into places inside themselves they'd been avoiding for a very long time. Now they're revisiting those moments with completely different eyes. They're starting to recognize where they overreacted, where they became defensive, and where they shut you out instead of letting you in. They can finally see that so much of what happened wasn't really about you at all. It was their own fears, their own unresolved pain spilling over into this connection. The truth is, you were never trying to hurt them. You were showing up with genuine intentions and encouraging them to become who they were always capable of being. It almost feels like your role in their life was to gently wake something up inside them. This whole journey is teaching them how to loosen their grip on the version of themselves they've been protecting for so long. And honestly, the ego can be complicated because it convinces us it's keeping us safe even when it's actually holding us back. What I keep getting is that they're learning what real balance actually looks like. When the ego takes over completely, someone starts believing they've got nothing left to learn. But when it's wounded, it can hide behind pride, control, or false confidence just to cover up deep insecurity. They're finally becoming aware of both extremes, and that's a huge part of the growth happening here. You've sparked something really powerful inside this person. The word I keep hearing is inspired. It's almost like you've opened a door they didn't even know existed. You're helping them see life from a completely different perspective. More than anything, you've reminded them there's another path available to them, one that feels lighter, healthier, and much more aligned with who they really are. It's almost like you've been saying you can keep walking the road you've been on if you want to, but there's another way. And that other path leads toward peace instead of fear. It asks them to trust something bigger than themselves instead of constantly trying to control everything. That's what this connection has been encouraging them to do all along. Step back into their own power in a healthier, more authentic way. For some of them, that means taking their power back from unhealthy people or situations. For others, it's learning how to manage emotions instead of letting those emotions control every decision they make. It could even be breaking free from old thought patterns they've carried for years. Whatever the case, your presence has encouraged them to choose differently. That's why I keep seeing this shift where they're no longer resisting every conversation, they're actually ready to hear you now. They're exhausted by all the conflict. Looking back, it almost feels like so many of the misunderstandings came from the fact that you were speaking completely different emotional languages. Maybe your communication styles never lined up, or maybe this was simply the difference between how the masculine and feminine energies naturally process emotions. Either way, there were so many crossed wires that turned simple conversations into much bigger problems than they ever needed to be. And I feel like you've always approached this connection from a much higher perspective. Growth just seems to come naturally to you, and you're always learning, always evolving. Because of that, you were able to see things this person simply couldn't see at the time. But little by little, your influence has changed them. It feels like you've helped them wake up to a completely different way of looking at both themselves and this connection. You see how their actions would be looked at as kind of like shady behavior, or their actions would misinterpret how they feel. So if this person loves you, their actions are showing something different. If this person loves you, they're vocalizing something different. So you really had to be almost this mirror to this person where you had to really shine a light on this is who you're projecting. Is this who you are? Yes or no? If it's not, then you have to make changes and you have to make adjustments for your higher self, for your higher good. And the beautiful thing I think about your connection is that despite whatever you're going through, despite whatever your person is going through, you always have the ability to make your person smile. You always have the ability to brighten any type of situation, because I think, again, when it comes to having a higher elevation or a higher perspective, you're able to see that even if we're going through something really challenging, really rough, things that are pushing us to our breaking point, things that are making us angry, things that are encouraging us to do different, to be different, to speak different, and it's putting you through a sense of pain. It's putting you through a sense of pain. It's putting you through a sense of discomfort. You can already see that there's a rainbow ahead. You can see that the storm, after every storm, comes a beautiful rainbow. You know that there's something beautiful at the end of the madness, at the end of the destruction, and sometimes things need to break apart. Sometimes there has to be a sense of strain on things in order for it to crumble where you can rebuild. And I feel like with this person, you being positive, you being yourself, even them looking at your pictures, I feel like it gives them a sense of peace. As ironic as that is, I just get that this person really does love you, or this person really does have a deep sense of yearning for you. Regardless where you are in this journey, whether you're just starting out in this journey, you're a few months deep, whether you've been 10 years plus in this, there's something very special about you where despite whatever energy your person is in, looking at you, talking to you, having interactions with you, it makes this person feel better. It makes this person's spirit rise from the ashes. It makes them feel like they can defeat whatever is going on around them. And this is about where you're encouraging them to look ahead. You're encouraging them to look past where it belongs and look forward to what's coming in next, because you know that there's something better that's waiting for you and your person. You know this. So at times, your person may view you as somebody that doesn't care or is unfazed or unbothered by whatever is happening, but that's not the case. You just have a level of foresight that's very different. You have a level of foresight where you're able to take a step back. You're able to be fully conscious and present in the moment and really align yourself with your soul purpose. Even if you fall off the wagon, you hop right back on. And that's because this helps you control your emotions. And this helps you stay grounded and stay in your true self. And I think that's something that this person was missing. That's something that this person didn't understand, and now they are. It's like you're this person's missing piece because your person needs your love. They need you. You are this person's missing piece. Your person has always felt like something was incomplete in their life. No matter how much money they made, no matter how much success they had, no matter how many friends they had around them, whatever it was, whether it was whatever, there was always something missing with your person. And they never understood why they felt this sense of emptiness. And they would try to numb it with other things, whether that's substances, whether that's with toxic behaviors, certain taboos, whatever it may be. Your person was always searching for more because they felt this void. And when they would feel this void, instead of asking themselves, what am I missing? I feel like they would just try to reshift or refocus their energy on goals or whatever it may be, except for love, because I feel like with your person, love has always been a topic that's been very, very stressful for them. And it's been very challenging for them to handle or to find that person because you're their person. I get nervous to call you. I don't want to be ignored. For some of you guys that aren't in contact with your person gets nervous to contact you because they're worried about what the conversation is going to be, especially if there's been a pause or an uncomfortable energy or an uncomfortable space between the two of you. For those of you that are not in contact with your person, they're worried that either you have somebody new or there's a new possibility here. There's something about that, like they're scared that you're not going to acknowledge them or that their chance has left. This is somebody that really does need you, though. I feel like your person is struggling a lot more than probably what meets the eye, a lot more than what they're saying. But if you're in front of your person, if you're looking at your person, you can easily identify in their eyes that they're hurting. And I think it's the same for you because I feel like when your person is hurting, you're hurting too. You're feeling their energy, especially if you have this red string of fate, because the two of you are fated to be with one another. You both are feeling it intensely. You just may transmute or transfer that energy completely different than this person does. I want you back and I need your love. Look how beautiful that is. Because this person is doing the work on themselves, this person realizes that you have a very irresistible energy. There's this intense desire, this strong impulse, and this person is finding it extremely hard or extremely difficult to hold back because with you, there's these happy times with you. They feel like they can accomplish anything, that they can accomplish their goals, that they can celebrate things with you, and that you're not looking for anything from them but love. You're not looking for a handout. You're not money hungry. You're not looking for status with this person, but you're really looking for a committed relationship, a committed situation where it's just you and your person building together as one, becoming a power couple, becoming an energy where you guys are building this dynasty for you, for your children, for your children's children, for your grandchildren, for whatever it may be. You just want to be able to grow with this person in any type of capacity, whether that's just going on vacations, traveling the world with one another, whether that's having a beautiful house and having dogs or having a family. You've really opened this person's eyes out where you've shown them that you can see things through, that you can stick it out, that you can stay together because you are committed to this energy. You are committed to your person. I didn't like how you could see through my traumas and insecurities. That brings us back to square one. The entire energy around this, usually it's blue, it's been green, it's been purple, but today the energy is pink. Somebody that wants to be faithful to you. This is somebody that has been extremely traumatized or stressed out about the separation because this person tried to pretend that they weren't as emotionally invested as they really are, but now they want to take these steps forward. They're tired of regretting their actions. They're tired of ruining the relationship. They're tired of denying what you've illuminated to them, that they do want love, that they do want partnership, that they do want to be in a relationship. You're not somebody that feeds off chaos. Like you don't thrive in chaos, you thrive in peace. This is about you giving this person a peace of mind. This is about you focusing on this energy work, restoring yourself, recharging, resting. But you illuminated the work that this person had to do. And part of the problem with this person that they get nervous with is because the old them, the past them, they're embarrassed by the way that they treated you. They're embarrassed by the way that they handled you. They're ashamed by their actions towards you because you always came to them in a very pure and positive energy. Then I was in denial of what I needed to see because them acknowledging that you make them happy, that they need your love, that they have issues that they need to work on, that they're not perfect, it made this person uncomfortable because it forced them to be vulnerable. It forced them into a place where they had to acknowledge to themselves, I'm not as put together as I like to project. Other people looking at your person, like, I don't know why, but I feel like your person has a lot of people around them that use them, a lot of fake friends and enemies. It's like whoever you are, you keep your circle very small because the higher you elevate, it's like people fall off because the higher you go, the higher you elevate. The people that are not meant to be there with you are going to fall off because they can't sustain at that level. They can't sustain at that frequency. So, by you showing this person the way, it's also raising their standards and their life. And people are struggling with this person changing. And now this person, now that they're having a higher elevated view because the fact that this person is acknowledging, like, I had a lot to work on. You know, I can't hide in my lies anymore. You know, you're exposing the darkness inside of them. They're now elevating and their people in their life are beginning to fall off, or they're able to have a broader perspective of how they're using them or how such and such from over here. That person was only using them for money, but now your person is having this different perspective because things are completely changing. This is somebody that knows me and you will be together again. This is somebody that knows you and them are meant to be. This is somebody where you may be somebody that's very independent. And I think that it scares them. That's why they're like, if you ignore them, they understand. That's why they're nervous. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, and I feel like a lot of your people have said this to them, so if the shoe was on the other foot, would I deal with them? Yes or no? Would I continue to pour into this relationship, pour into the situation? I don't know, because they've put you through a lot. You know, this person, your independence has them questioning their own worth, where sometimes I feel like with your person, they don't feel good enough for you and they're insecure. And I feel like with this person in the past, I feel like there would be a lot of distractions within your connection. But to me, all of that is changing. All of that is shifting. Look, very soon, this is somebody that needs your body, that wants to feel you, that wants to touch you, that wants to be intimate, that dreams of you. And it could be as simple as like holding you, hugging you, kissing you, touching you. Like this is somebody that hasn't been happy since things have been awry with you. I haven't been happy since we stopped talking. Or this person hasn't been happy since they haven't seen you. And this is somebody that doesn't want to hurt you anymore. I don't want to hurt you anymore. They know that they've hurt you, but they also know that it's not over yet. They know that everything is going to work out and that whatever troubles were here in the past, the troubles were caused on their end. So they're making amends right now in order to get everything in place to make you some type of offer. So if you're not in communication with this person, they're doing some cleanup. They're cleaning up their back end in order for them to show you the front end, talking about it in a computer sense, in a sense of they're handling their insecurities. For some of them, they're going to therapy, they're getting help, they're talking to other people outside of their typical friend group or their typical family that's held this person back, and they're realizing that they're yearning for your love. They didn't know what this was, but now they do. This is something that's more than lust. And they've never met anybody who thinks the way that you think. This person is in this energy where they see that they've hurt you. They don't want to hurt you anymore. They just want to love you. They want to care for you. They want to nurture you. And you inspire this person to do better. For some of them, they're trying to make more money in order to impress you. But what your person is going to find out is money doesn't impress you. Their actions do. Them showing up, that means more than money. Because the reality is, whoever is watching this, you are very secure in your own right where money doesn't define you. Whether you have a butt ton of it or you have no money, money does not define your sense of happiness. And that's what you've been trying to stress to this person. But they still want to be able to take care of you. There's no woman or man like you, like you're something very special, you're out of this world. They know that they're never going to meet anybody that cares about them, that nurtures them, that fulfills them, that fills their cup up the way that you do. I don't desire anyone the way that I desire you. That's why this person realizes I need your love. That's why this person is acknowledging, I'm never going to find another person like you. You're like this weird fairy to this person. The way that you handle them, the way that you handle things, it's very unique for this person. It's very unexpected. They never expected to meet somebody like you. Like the way that you think, the way that you process stuff, it challenged this person to think different and to be different. It challenges their old way. It challenges their generational curses. The reality is this: our parents raised us the best way that they could. But if you look back on it now, there's things that they could have done differently. You can talk to your parents now and they'd say, I wish I did this differently. So why would we continue to do the same pattern if it didn't work the last time? Your person is beginning to acknowledge that. What messages do you have for the collective when it comes to this person? Nine of Pentacles. For some of them, they're working on their financial freedom. For some of them, they're working on detaching from karmic relationships or karmic situations. For those of you guys that are in a relationship yourself, they want you to be single. They view you also as somebody that gets a lot of attention wherever you go because they feel like you're very attractive, you're very beautiful, you're very abundant. There's something about your energy that screams abundance. Abundance doesn't always have to be financial. Abundance can be happiness. Abundance can be security, self-security, self-love, whatever it may be. This is Venus in Virgo also. So your person is also going back and thinking of everything that you've told them. The amazing thing about Venus in Virgo is this. Venus in Virgo is an energy where this person is paying attention to the small, minute details, things you like, what kind of candy you like, what do you like to do, your perfume, your cologne. This is somebody that's paying attention to the details in order to impress you because that's how they show their love. By the little things, by mentioning little things, by doing little things, by just certain things like that. And believe it or not, your person misses you a lot. Your person has a sense of guilt here because you kept trying to offer them this cup that they were unable or incapable of accepting. They were too busy focused on everything else. And in order not to focus on you, they invested in other things. They feel like they've betrayed you. And now when they see, what did I betray you for? It was all fake. Whether this person went back to somebody from their past, whether this person stayed in a relationship, whether this person went to other energies or other things in order to not remember you or to not give to you in order to not do the work. This person feels stupid. This is somebody that's crying at night for the way that they treated you because here you are happy and abundant. Here they are miserable and depressed and sad. They feel alone. They don't want to be alone. Whoever this person is, they've had some type of major awakening where they're acknowledging, I don't want to be alone anymore. Watching you do better for yourself is encouraging them to do better for them. But there's a lot of guilt here for the way that this person has gone about things. There's guilt here for the way that this person communicated, for the way that this person talked to you. It's causing them emotional pain. And there's a lot of regret here. And this is somebody that wants to come back around, that wants to do the right thing. They're really regretting their past, especially if there was another energy that they put above you. They put their own wants and needs above you, and it was very selfish. And I feel like with this person, they want to take some level of action towards you to make it right. Your person, they either went through or they're going through right now a major tower moment. And throughout the darkness that they're going through, the one person that they keep thinking about is you, a star. You give this person hope. You provide this person with healing. You're an inspiration because they know how hard it is for you. They know that you're built for tough, or they know that you've gone through a lot in your life or certain adversities or whatever it may be. You've encouraged this person. You've sparked their new sense of spirituality. You've brought spirituality to this person where you've encouraged this person to think outside of the box. It doesn't have to fit inside of the box. You've encouraged this person to live in their truth, to live in who they are and what they are. You've encouraged this person to go back to their roots, to focus on what's important. I love seeing the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is very powerful. The Eight of Pentacles is somebody saying, I know I have a problem. I know I have an issue. I invested in things that were not best for me, and now I have to go back to the drawing board. I have to go back to this apprentice level and reassess and redefine who I am and work out the kinks in order for me to get to the 9. But the beautiful thing about this is that they're working on it. They're working on it because you inspired them to take a new action because they realize the way that they're doing it, it's hurting them. It's not helping them. And they're tired of hurting. They're tired of hurting. And they're also tired of hurting you as well. There's a lot that this person wants to open up, that this person wants to communicate with you. The magician's been coming out a lot, and death. Whoever this person is, they're done with the mind games. They're done with the manipulation. There's a major ending here. This is a major transformation. This person is ready for this new beginning. They're done with this Five of Cups. That's why they're manifesting you. That's why they're working on it. That's why they're trying to solve these problems. What is ending for this person? Why is death here? What does the collective need to know about this death energy? The Eight of Cups walks away from the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is the seven deadly sins. The Seven of Cups is that Scorpio Venus type of energy. It's that energy where I'm going to get what I want. I'm going to do whatever I have to do, even underhanded, in order to keep you stuck to me. But now this person is realizing that the way that they were going about it, it wasn't beneficial for them. They can't have all these options. This person was realizing that they made the wrong option and they're having to turn their back to what no longer suits them. This is a major lesson here. Look at this. What are they going towards? The Hierophant. They're going towards God. They're going towards their higher self. They're going towards a spiritual enlightenment that you've shined upon them with a star. This is somebody that is accepting your advice. This is somebody that has realized that this fantasy, this overindulging with drugs and alcohol, it's not serving them anymore. They're turning their back on it. They're coming in and they're repairing themselves. They're beginning to get stitched up. They're beginning to heal here. But this person had to end that. They had to walk away. And I think that with this person, they had to take this alone time to really focus on this major. I mean, with Pluto here, Pluto is sex, death, and transformation. That's it. That's an intense energy. So your person needed this higher perspective here on this new beginning, on taking action on this new beginning, on this raw energy, on this seed that they're getting ready to plant. Because again, I feel like your person is tired. They don't want to be alone. Moon in Cancer. Moon in Cancer. Moon in Cancer is tough. It's like you love somebody so much and you just want them to love you the same way. This person is tired of being unhappy. They're tired of being jealous of other people around you. They're tired of trying to compare you to everybody else because nobody compares to you. You're the Nine of Pentacles and the Star. You are a star. You are special. You are significant. You're meant to make such a huge impact in this world that it's indescribable. And this person is tired of making up these imaginary conflicts that are all made up in their head. This is somebody that tried to make you out to be somebody you weren't in order to protect themselves. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying that's what it is. It's a sense of protection. They would bring out this other energy. They would bring out a different side of them because the closer you got, they had to protect themselves because they were scared to allow themselves to go deep because of their past. Telling you there's something here with this person's past, people they've dealt with, their family, their father, their mother, that it scares them. So they would try to push you away, but it's like the moment you would be like, okay, fine. It'd be like, no, please come back. And the moment you would come back, they would push you away again. This person with this hermit energy, that's them going away from everybody that's around them, maybe even including you, and taking this pause and asking themselves, what makes me feel secure? Is it money? Is it love? Is it partnership? Is it a relation? Like, what is it? But your person is going through all of this in order to make amends, in order to make this right, in order to balance out a situation from their past. They may be going to court, or there may be something to do with an attorney to separate certain assets. This could also be your person just after this hermit collecting all the information and now knowing how to proceed, now knowing how to move forward with you. Because, like I said, there's a major tower moment that's occurring with this person. It's heavy Scorpio energy. We have a lot of Scorpio energy. We have a lot of Virgo energy, Capricorn. It doesn't matter if that's your sign or not. It's just the energy of what is embodying this person right now. But this justice that's coming in, let me tell you something. It's about to change a lot for a lot of people. Like this justice coming in with the tower. Whoever your person is associated with, whoever you're associated with, there's a major shift and a major change and a major transformation that's occurring. And we already saw that earlier in the reading, that tower. Like, I knew that tower was going to come out. How is this person viewing the collective in their situation? What is their perspective on their relationship right now? The star card. Hope. I love this. It's hope. It's this person looking up in the sky going, you know what? This can work. I see it working. I see that the stars are aligning for the perfect moment for this person to make amends. How is this person viewing their role in the connection with the collective? Knight of Cups. See, this person is secretly wanting you, secretly watching you. How are they viewing the collective? This is a very romantic energy. This is somebody that's tapping into this lover's energy, this very ethereal type of iridescent energy where it can be, why can it not be? This is somebody that's going very, very deep to Sub-Zero and really figuring out from a soul perspective, what do I need? The Knight of Cups is Pisces energy, knows what it needs emotionally, and is tapping into their own intuition. How are they viewing the collective in this situation? How are they viewing the collective? Temperance, they know that you're waiting. The one thing that I realized about twin flames, divine counterparts, however you want to call it feels like both people simultaneously will have different things that break apart at either the same time or one after another. And it happens to both of you in order to strip you from your past and in order to project you into the future, a new future with this person. All right, that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Wishing you all the best, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye.